Hello, welcome to Frog Recruitment TV. I'm Mike Howie, and today we're meeting Walter Thorburn, who is a coach and mentor to some of the country's top triathletes. And also, he's taken a Frog Recruitment consultant from a weekend warrior to performing on an international stage doing long distance triathletes. Hello, Walter, how are you?
Very good, thank you.
Now, Walter, we're here today to hear about your unique story and what you do and how you work with your clients to help them achieve their big or audacious goals. But also, we always ask our guests, what was the very first job you ever did where you received payment?
I used to spend the summer holidays picking up hay for a professional contractor. So it was very physical work, but it allowed me to make money and support my interests at that time.
So where was that?
And Hikataya, near Pyro, where the famous lemon and Pyro bottle is. So it's where I grew up.
So Walter, tell us exactly what you do.
Well, it's about taking on people and just trying to establish what best fits with regard to how can I take them from where they're currently at to where they would like to go, or where I think that they could potentially go. So I need to know about their bike setups, their basic background and where they're currently at, and then progress from there, really.
So Walter, do you train triathletes or Ironmen or Iron people, if I can say that?
I'm more comfortable coaching multi-sport athletes. It's one thing that I've decided that to be straight up with regard to, that's where I'm passionate about. But I've helped marathon runners successfully, especially a couple of women in New Zealand who have gone top 3 in Rotorua and BMW marathons. But I always come back to, I stick to what I think I'm very good at, and that's the multi-sport and triathlon.
So Walter, tell us about your journey from a multi-winning Ironman performer to coach and mentor.
Well, I started with motocross, and that became very expensive, and it was very hard to finish up with that. But about a year later, I started doing triathlon, and mainly to a lot of people back then were doing their OEs, but I wanted to do it with a purpose and believed that I could do it through a sport and travel. So I was very fortunate. I recruited one of the best coaches in the country at the time, and within 12 months I'd been top 3 in the elite nationals and progressed from there.
So Walter, can you explain to us what is actually required when you do a half Ironman event?
It's a 2K swim, 90K bike and a 21K run. Now they call it the 70.3, but that's an organisation in the world, so they have certain events called 70.3s, but there are still half Ironman events. It's the same distance, same deal, but they may not have a 70.3 status. So I've enjoyed those because I believe they require the speed of an Olympic distance athlete and the strength of an Ironman. So, and I enjoy that type of training personally, and it also attracts a lot of people that are like-minded, that like to train. Generally triathletes like to train and train hard, so I'm passionate about that.
So you've done some of the fastest times for your events in this country. Can you tell us a bit about when you've hit the wall and had to grapple with your own obstacles in your mind and your body?
I think it was the first time I did the Tauranga Half Ironman. I think I'd already been top 3 in the nationals in the elite Olympic distance, and then I crossed over to the Half Ironman, and I think I came something like 150th place at Port of Tauranga Half Ironman, and every year they had the nationals in Tauranga, and it attracted the best in the country. And I got a massive wake-up call, and it got really ugly. And yet within 12 months I was able to turn that around and go top 3, and I did for the next 2 years. And so I had to learn, and I had to learn real quick. And I've carried that learning on through into my coaching to try and understand that, what is required and how to get the best out of people and what I could foresee happening with each individual. So that's part of how my coaching is, or how I approach my coaching and to each individual athlete that I work with.
So tell us about when you take someone on to train them, where do you start with them?
I guess working out what they've got on in their life and working with that time. So sometimes people just don't understand the commitment and the carryover. Do you have enough energy to go to your job and perform that well? Do you have enough energy to go home and be in a good mood with your partner? Or even your kids, do you have enough energy to take your kids to the park on a Sunday after you've been out for a bike ride, So maybe their health needs what they're eating, what they're taking, it all needs addressed. And I first off look at that, because if we don't get that right, the program's never going to work. The program is absolutely worthless. So I have to totally understand what's going on in their life, and then I start to work with that.
So Walter, you've taken weekend warriors to become elite athletes. Tell us about what are some of the things you work with them on, or what you've done for these people.
Maybe the best that I could, maybe better explain what it takes to achieve in sport, because it is a very tough sport. And I had a case some years ago where I had a lady ring me up, and she had done the Special K triathlon. It was very good for women, especially because it was bringing them into the sport and getting them going. So she had competed in a Special K, and she decided that she wanted to do the Ironman. So she gave me a call and asked me if I could coach her. But I felt that she would be better off with somebody else and starting at a possibly a lower level, just to get going and maybe have a little bit more support, because I didn't have that time for one-on-one. So I suggested some other coaches. So anyway, a month later she came back and said, no, I've spoken to them, I want you. So I said, okay, well, this is the way we're going to do it, and I will do the best that I can, and you will have to do the rest. But she could phone me anytime, and we set her up and got the basic plan going. And after a number of months, I noticed that her dedication to the plan and everything was just absolutely phenomenal. 12 months later, she went on and was the fastest women's age group bike split at Ironman and qualified for Kona, which is very, very difficult to do. She knew exactly what she wanted, and she had a massively strong desire. She had no support from her husband or her family, and she would get up at 2 o'clock in the morning and ride her indoor bike, and get up after that, wake the kids up, make them breakfast, and spend the rest of the day with them on a Saturday and put them to bed that night. And she had a part-time job, and that to me was, I guess, the optimum of she knew exactly what she wanted. You know, she never missed a workout. It was easy for her. It wasn't hard because she had to do it. It was easy because she wanted to do it. Those are the people that I love to work with, and we always have the most success with. And it takes that type of commitment and follow through. It's a bit like maybe somebody trying to lose weight. They might talk about it, and it's extremely difficult, and they have a go at it, but they're not really ready until they decide. Or they might have a life-changing, or somebody might make a comment and they go, I'm going to make a difference. And they decide that it just happens because they're so ready for it, and it becomes easy. So that optimises the type of people that I love to work with, and that I think go on to get the success that they want.
So Walter, you're working with our very own Helen Kay from Frog Recruitment. How is she performing at the moment?
For me, she is, again, she optimises the type of person that I think will always have success, because she just says basically, what is it? What do I have to do? Do I have to run 20 miles, or do I have to bike up this hill, or whatever it takes? She will get up and do it. And I'm just extremely impressed with her commitment, and it's just an enjoyable experience. And if anything, I've got to try and slow her down. So I'm very interested to see how she'll perform at Ironman.
So when working with athletes, what are some of the common barriers they face to succeeding or not succeeding?
A lot of people I find are quite aware of their weaknesses, but it's actually addressing them. And change can be so hard. And I'm guilty of it. We're all, I could look at somebody and they just keep repeating the same. It could even be an elite athlete, and you just think, why do they always do that? If they just change that, it's there for them to make those changes. But maybe, again, they're not ready. I see people sort of making the changes, but not making the change big enough. So in a sense, it just keeps on coming up again, and it could be something quite silly, but it's being ready to make those changes. You've got to look under every rock and say, and expose yourself and be really, really honest about the changes that you need. With sport, most of us, the people that I coach, have jobs, and so it is amazing what they can achieve and what they do, but and there never seems enough time in the day, and sometimes they're just too busy maybe to even make that hard change. But the ones that can do generally go on and certainly meet my expectations and their expectations.
So in terms of working with these big audacious goals with your clients, can you explain to us your coaching philosophy?
Well, you know, there's the physical part, but there's the mental part that people need to keep on. Just like the body is expanding and growing, sometimes the mind gets left behind. And people need to understand that, you know, you are shifting, changing, the body's being pushed, the mind's being pushed, and you need to just keep expanding, and you need to keep, the body's like the vehicle with which you travel in, and you need to keep on working with that vehicle, and so you can just keep progressing, where sometimes people want to keep on working on the physical side, but they can't expand on the mental and emotional side of it, because sport is so much about that. So it needs constant work and evaluation. So the other thing is, you know, every day that you do is a contribution to your outcome, and you need to be consistently evaluating and tweaking and pushing on what you're currently doing, and trying to make each new day a better day. So basically, you're just trying to be as consistent as you possibly can, and not take any unnecessary detours, because it is about, first off, about the body and the physical body, and we need to keep that together. So so you can keep growing, and I guess if the body can keep progressing, then it gives you a chance to keep growing mentally as well while working on it. So you need simple things like massage and body maintenance, and it's just not taking those detours. And some people just have not been there physically that far down the line, and I guess that's why they come to me, because I've achieved the results. It's always my goal to try and get people to experience that ultimate day or experience where it feels effortless. And sometimes we might only get one or two or three glimpses in a lifetime of that beautiful day where everything just falls together. And if I can get any of my athletes to even come close or experience one of those days, then I feel like my job has been really done, because sport is a wonderful thing to be involved with. So I want them to share that experience.
So Walter, if a schlub like me came to talk to you seriously about doing a half marathon, how would you work with me?
Oh, I would probably look at your, obviously, I want to keep you on one piece and achieve it, and hopefully it'll be a happy journey. So the best thing is consistency. So I need to know your background and what you've done up to that point. The other thing is that I would make sure that you understand how to maintain the body. Just like if you got a new car, you're going to need adjustments and tweaks, and the body's going to be growing and changing. So you might push the body's going to push back. What you want to do is just give it the love. So you need the massage, you need things like, you might want to run on soft surfaces, you need to do this, you need to do that. And I'm just trying to stop these little detours that can come up, so that journey is an enjoyable one and you want to do more, not say, well, I've got this problem and I've got a sore calf and I've got this problem here, and the whole thing. It's just trying to avoid those pitfalls, should we say. Otherwise you could do it on your own. So you've come to me for that type of advice. So that's the first step, and then trying to look at ways that we can improve on that. And so that's basically where I'd start.
Okay, Walter, thank you very much for your time today, and we've got lots of ideas on how to set goals and get there.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.